Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to show you a new extension for WooCommerce and the Greenshift plugin. Also, I'll talk about how to take a full control of page design, how to use extended filters, how to create custom carousels and swatches. Also, I'll show you how to add 3D models to your products, how to add reviews, comparisons, and dynamic functions. And moreover, I will show you how to add AR and 3D and how to add different galleries. So there are several advantages of this plugin, and the first one is the speed in your website pages. So as you can see, the speed is very high, and at the same time we are not using any plugin cache. Let's now compare with the theme Storefront. This is the default theme for WooCommerce, and if we check the speed, as we can see, it's not that high. The second advantage of the plugin is that this is the first complex solution full site editor of WooCommerce, meaning that you can edit absolutely everything on your page, including the design. Also, you can add new blocks and use all the Gutenberg plugins in general. And the third advantage is that there are many already preset blocks that can improve your design, so you don't need to install any additional plugins in order to create a functional online store. The whole process of using the plugin is quite different, and it depends on the theme that you're going to use. I'll show you now 3 options, but of course you can choose any of them. So the first option is to use the free theme Greenshift. As soon as you install it, you will get additional options, and one of them is Demo Import, this one. WooCommerce Demo Shop, and it was used here on our website. So you can import the full store together with the products in order to check how it was created and how it works in general. Or another option, if you already have your products ready to be used, then you can select Import Only FSE Templates. In this case, you get imported only the header as well as all the typical pages of the design. So let's now try to create a template starting from the very beginning. So we go to the editor, then we click on templates, and then we will choose single product, this one. Since Greenshift is a block theme, we go to the editor page of the template, and here we can see the blocks that are set by default in WooCommerce plugin. Actually, they look not that bad. We can check our page, and if you like the design here, then you can simply choose this type of design for your products as well. So here, as you can see in the standard WooCommerce blocks, there are some editing options. So basically here you can change, for example, the dimensions from here, and also the colors of the links and text. But you should keep in mind that the default blocks in WooCommerce are quite limited in editing, and most of the blocks don't have any options for editing and changing the design at all. So that's why we'll just remove these templates. So we click on Group and then we click on Delete. And then we will add another one by clicking on Header, and then we will choose Add After. And here we will add a template that is available in the extension of WooCommerce. So we click here and we choose Greenshift WooCommerce FSE templates. Here there are several templates available, and we'll need this one, single product template. So we click on it, and it is automatically added to our page. This is how it looks. And later in this video, I will show you all the blocks and options here in detail and how to edit them. But let's now go further. So now we will need to create a template for the product catalog. So we go back to the templates and here we will click on product catalog. This one. Here we need to mention that this template will be duplicated on several other templates that are used in WooCommerce, specifically for products by attribute, products by category, and products by tag. So you don't need to edit separately all these templates. You can simply edit the template product catalog. By default, we see here the same situation. So WooCommerce uses templates by default, and this is how they look. And now we'll do the same as before. So we'll delete the group, like this, and then we'll click on header and choose add after. And here we'll add a template from the plugin. Here it is. It is called Shop Template. And I will show you all the features of this template later in this video. And now we'll just need to edit one more template. So we go back to templates. And we choose product search results. Here it is. And here we do absolutely the same. So we delete the default section. And now we'll add a template which is called product search results. This one. As I said before, you can skip all these steps and just import the templates by clicking here on Greenshift and then Demo Import. And here you should select Import only FSE templates. So Greenshift is a block theme, but also you can use classic themes. And let me now show you how to do this. So the first example that I'll show you will be with Blocksy template. So by default, the output template for Blocksy theme looks like this one, but we can also override the code. And we have here a specific option which is called Greenshift WooCommerce Edition, and you need to create a reusable template in Greenshift plugin. So we create a page here, then we'll select a pattern, we'll select a preset template, but of course if you want you can create your own template. So as we can see, the template was successfully imported. And here we will enable a specific option that is called Override Site Pages by this template. Then we click on Singular Template and we will select Post Type Products. Then we save the template and finally we click on Publish. Now we'll create a new blog template. So we click on Add New. Then we will disable Synced. And then we click on Create. So now we'll import our template from here, this one, and then we click on Override Site Pages by this template. Here it is. So if you want to override the output template of the store, then you need to disable this option here, Post Type Archive, and you should select Post Type Products. Don't forget to click on Save Template before clicking on Publish. And as you can see, everything was overwritten here. So if you want to override the output template for rubrics, then you need to choose here Taxonomy and then select here Product Categories. This one. So if you have chosen this taxonomy, then all the output templates for product categories will be using this template. If you include a specific rubric, then only this rubric will use the template. So let's now see how the Rehub theme works. Now we'll create our template by clicking on Reusable Templates, and then we click on Add New. Then we'll import our template from here. So we are going to use the inner page template. If you need to make a major modification, then you need to select boxed content. Here it is. And here in the Reusable Block options, we will select Product Single Page. And then we will publish it. Then we go to the theme options, and in the shop settings, here we will select in product layout single product template. And now this template will be applied to all the inner pages of our website. But also we can edit this template for one page only. So for example, if you want this template to be used only for a specific product, then you can select it while editing the product itself. By a similar principle, we can create a template for the output of our store. So we click here on Add New, then we disable Synced, and then we click on Create. Then we will import our template from Patterns. So here it is. And here we will also change the content width to boxed, this one. Like this. And after that, we will select here Product Archive page. Finally, we will click on Publish. Then we go back to the theme options. Here, we click on Shop Settings. And here, in How to Show Archives, we will select our shop template. And then we click on Save the Changes. So as we can see, everything has been overwritten to our custom template. So let's now check the blocks and how to edit our templates. We go to the themes, and here we will activate the block theme Greenshift. Then we go to the editor, and here it's important to mention that there are two types of style for each block. So the first one is a local one. This means that everything that you can see here in the settings of the block and a global one, which is used in the theme. So please note that local styles are prioritized over global ones. And to check this, we can simply click on Reset Typography options. So as we can see, they are now pulling up with the topic. And regarding the global settings for the title, text, and the cover, if you're using a block theme as for example Greenshift, while editing the template, you can click here on Styles. And here you can check the style settings. So for example, we are using H1 for the title. And if we change it from here, this is how it's going to be displayed here. Please note that if we go back to the main blog settings and if we set here our own styles, then it will be overwritten to our global style. And the same applies for the cover. There are preset covers for the Greenshift template, and it goes together with the theme. But if we go to background and opacity, we can see that our local styles are empty. So this means that here are used global settings for our theme. In order to change them, we need to go to the styles and click here on colors. Then we click here, and if we change our primary color, it will be changing in all the blocks of our templates where similar buttons are used. But if we need to override this color, we can go to the block settings, and here we can choose a local color. And it is going to override the color of our global settings. Color and typography settings are unique for each theme. I have shown you how this works for Greenshift theme and for other blog themes. So for example, if you are using Rehub theme, the color settings are here in appearance and then color. And here you can choose colors for your buttons. So let's now go back to the editor of our template and check the blocks that we have here. So if we open the structure of our page, we can see that we have a set of different blocks here. These are dynamic blocks, meaning that they will pull up product data and display it. By default, when you edit a template, the data from your last products is used. For each dynamic block, there is a tab from where to get the data, as well as a set of design options. So if you have chosen here current latest for source settings, this means that in the editor will be displayed the data of your last products that exist on the website. This means these products, but on the website itself will be displayed the data of the current page of the product. You are not limited in the use of blocks, and you can add any blocks, both dynamic and static ones. So for example, here we have added a static text, and here you can also add some banners or information about the size of your product. So this part will be a static one, and it will be always displayed to all your products regardless of the data of the product itself. Also, there is an option here to make this block optional depending on the data of the product. So for example, you can convert it into a visibility block, and now you can add a condition from here. Also, in almost all blocks in the Greenshift plugin, if you go to Advanced tab, there are visibility settings that you can enable so that this part can be displayed depending on some specific conditions. It can be a specific rubric of your products, for example, or even more complex variation. For example, you can even use URL query of referral source, meaning that the block will be displayed only if the user has come from a specific website. . So let's now talk about another important block, which is product tabs. This is the block that displays in WooCommerce the sections of your website. So by default, in the editor, this block shows such a placeholder, but if we check the website, it will be displayed other way. So it is displayed like this. By default, WooCommerce creates 3 sections. The first one is description. So this is the content that you add to the description of the product. Here is our section, and it will be displayed here in description. The second one is based on our attributes. So as you can see here, there are attributes, and if you delete them, this section, additional information, won't be displayed at all. And the third section, reviews. So here the users can add reviews of your products. But in Greenshift plugin, there is also an option to create your own section, and let's now see how to do this. So we go to WooCommerce, then we click on Settings, and then we click on Greenshift Tools. Here we have some additional functions, and here we can add a new section. So let's call it, for example, sizing table. By default, a section display order of WooCommerce has its structure, and here we can both increase or decrease this number so that our section is displayed on the right position. For example, if we enter 11 here, as we can see, here is our section. And I will now show you how to enter here not just the text, but an interesting block or even a dynamic block. So to do this, we go to Reusable Templates, and then we click on Add New. We will disable here Synced, and then we click on Create. So here we can put any content, or if you want, you can also import already preset sections. So for example, I will import here pricing table just to show you how it works. So now we need to copy everything that we have here on our template. We will copy it through a shortcode, and then we will put it on our section WooCommerce. So we copy the shortcode and we put it here in content for tab 1. Then we save the changes, and this is how this section looks now. Product tabs block can be customized, and there are several design options. So by default, there are just tabs, but if you want, you can also choose another type of design, like for example, toggles. I'll show you now how it works. So as you can see, the sections here look like this. So this part is quite often used on websites with not so much information for the description of the product. So you don't need to create a separate section only for the description. And also these kind of sections are quite compact. And the third option is sections. So if you want to focus on your content, you can choose this type of design. And also you can add a border like this. Let's also add some padding. And margin. So we save the changes. And this is how our sections look now. So basically you can customize the whole design. You can even choose a type of the titles and the content. But let's now go back to the tabs. So the next important block that is worth talking about is the block which is called Product Image and Gallery. It outputs the data of the product. So let's see what exactly. Okay, so it displays the product image and the product gallery. But there is one feature here in Greenshift plugin. So additionally, this block can output the data, specifically the gallery, which is called 360 gallery, and also it can display 3D models and a video. Let's see now how it works. So as we can see, it works with real 3D models. And also a video can be displayed, as well as this kind of a circle gallery. It's very simple to add such galleries. So for the 360 gallery, you can just add images in such an order. But even if you have missed the order, you can just move the images like this. If you want to add a video or a 3D model, you need to upload two files. So the first one is an image that will be displayed while the video is loading. And the second file is the 3D model or the video itself. If you want to upload a video, it should be MP4. And if you upload 3D model, it should be .glb. And also it supports spline files. Here it is. So this is a browser application. It's for free and it's very functional and it's called spline.design. Apart from this, you can also add 3D and video to your image. So for example, when we upload an image from here there is an additional field which is called add video or 3D file URL. And the difference between uploading a video or 3D model from here and uploading it directly from here is that uploading a file here will add this dynamic data throughout the whole site. So this means that if you use the same image on other pages of the site or products, it will be replaced by video and 3D files. And when we upload the data from here, the data will be displayed in this product only on the current page. Apart from this, if you add dynamic data to your gallery, you can also use here YouTube, for example, and let's see how it works. So we add here a link to our YouTube video. And now if I click on the image here, it will lead to the YouTube video itself. But if the file is MP4, it will be directly displayed here in the gallery. In case if you're not planning to add any galleries or multiple images of the product, then it makes sense to replace this block to a dynamic image block. So we'll add here just to show you. This block displays one image of your product only. Instead of this gallery, you can also use a dynamic gallery. So let me now show you how it works. So we'll add here dynamic gallery, then we'll select post type for preview product. Then we'll select type field, so we'll choose here product image gallery. Here it is. And then we'll enable add also post thumbnail, this one. Here we'll change the number of columns to 2 and we'll change the height of the images, like this. So this type of gallery is quite popular right now when two big images are displayed. A similar option we have used in Rehub theme. So as you can see, there are multiple big images here. And on the right side, we have the part with the button, which is attached and it moves together with the scrolling. You can easily apply this effect to your theme as well. So we can use our dynamic gallery. We will choose here the number of columns 1, and then we'll change a bit the height. And in order to stick this part, here we'll select our column, and then we'll go to advanced options and we will select stick position, this one. And let's add here a value of 30, for example. So we save the changes, and this is how it works. It is also important to mention that the images can be zoomed. So for example, we take this image, we go to image settings, and here there is a specific option which is called scale. So by default, it displays the whole image according to the available space. But we can also choose scale. And as you can see, the image is displayed in full without being cropped or zoomed. So you can decide which one to use depending on the background of your image. If your image has a white background, then it makes sense to use the option scale, because this way your image will look better and it won't be stretched. However, if the background of your image is not white, then it's better to use the option which is called cover. This one. Because this way it will be expanded to the whole available space and it won't break the border of your design. Okay, so let's now talk about the new models that expand the functionality of the store. And one of them is product swatches. This model allows you to replace the standard select to more, let's say, useful and informative elements. And I will now show you an example. So as we can see here, there are two options for color and size. And I will now show you how to create this. So when you create an attribute, here is the attribute that we have created. So we click on Edit, and here you need to select the type. By default, here is Select, so you need to choose the type, let's say Cover. And once you have chosen it, we go back to the attributes, and then we click on Configure Terms. When you create a preset attribute, there is an additional field. So for example, when we have selected the type Cover, here we have Select Cover, this one. So let's now check once again how it works. So by default, here we have this slide, but this is not always convenient and clear to users. So it's better to replace this type of attribute with a more clear one. As soon as you have replaced the type of attribute, it will be available here. And also it will be displayed here when you click on additional information. And here in filters and in other elements, like for example, comparisons. So let's now check that. Okay, so if we click here on filter, we can see that our attribute will be changed as well. And this part here will be replaced with our user type. Okay, so the next model that I'm going to talk about, and that will be very useful for you, especially if you're using many attributes, is called attribute groups. This model creates additional field where you can combine multiple attributes in groups. So we click on Edit, you just create a new attribute group, and you just select here the attributes that you want to add. And also you can combine them into categories. So why do you need categories? When you add a new product, by default, WooCommerce allows you to add one attribute only. But this is not effective. So for example, there are 20 different attributes in each product, and adding them one by one is very inconvenient. So in order to avoid this, you can just create here a group of attributes. Then you add it to the specific category, and the next time when you create a product, you just need to select the group of category that you want and then click on Load. So then all the attributes from the group will be automatically added here, and this way will be easier and faster. Apart from this, attribute groups will be displayed here in additional information, and also in comparison module that we are going to talk about later in this video. So let's now go back to the editor of our template catalog. So we click on templates and then we will choose product catalog. I will now show you some of the nuances of editing the template. So the main block here is a query block. We see it here. I have talked about this block in the previous videos, and I have shown you how to use some of the advanced options of this block there. So if you want to check it, I'll just add a link to the video in the description part. And now we are going to talk about how to use this block while editing the template catalog. So the first thing that is important to mention is that in order for this block to pick up the values of the current page, you must select this value here, Auto Detect Shop Archive. If we don't do this, the products here will be just static and they will be always displayed regardless our page. That is why it's very important, I would say even mandatory, to select this value here. If you want to edit this block, the next step is just to click on this button, Edit Inner Layout, and here you can edit the specific element. This works the same way as the product output template. So this means that the same blocks are used here. As you can see, you can just move them if you want, or you can, for example, add new blocks. Most probably you will want to add some additional values from your meta fields, and you can use the block metagetter. This one. This block allows you to receive a lot of different kinds of data from your posts and site, but for now I'll delete it. Also, you can use Greenshift dynamic blocks here, like for example, post author name. This one. If you go to blocks here, you can check the other interesting blocks that exist. So probably you would be interested here in adding product categories, tags, or product SKU. Another useful block that can be used in this template is called countdown. Here it is. And this is how it looks. It looks like this by default and will enable a specific option, is this WooCommerce sales countdown. So if we enable this option, the counter will display our product's data, specifically the planned date for our sale. So we click here on schedule. And for example, we'll enter 25 as a regular price and 22 sale price. Like this. Here we will select the date. And then we click on Update to save the changes. Here we need to make some adjustments. So we'll change the number font size. Like this. And then we'll click on Disable Divider. Then we'll remove the labels. And let's add some spacing from here. Like this. Then we'll select Align Text Center, this one. And here we'll add some margin. And finally we click on Done. By default, here will be displayed zeros, but on our website, this won't be visible, so only the products that are on sale at that moment will have the counter on the website. So let's check that. Okay, so as you can see, only this product is on sale and it has a counter. If you have sales all the time, or if you want to display the products that are on sale, then this block will be very useful for you. Also, there is a specific option here called Custom Post Type and Taxonomy. And if we select here Products with Discount, then we will see only the products that are on sale at the moment. There is another useful option for stores that sell wholesale. So we go back to the patterns, and here there is a preset template, Greenshift WooCommerce Loop. So here we can select it. It differs from the usual store in that here you can choose the quantity of the product. So for example, if you want to buy several items of the product, you don't need to open the inner page of the product. You can simply select the quantity directly from here. Also, this option allows us to directly display the product swatches that we have talked about before. So if you sell wholesale, I would definitely recommend you to use this option because I believe that it would be quite useful for you. Also, it is worth talking about the filters, and in this template there are filters used with drop-down panels. So to do this, we need to use a block which is called pop-up sliding panel. And if we open it, we will see several options of the panel. So by default, it looks like this. And you can add additional filters here. For example, by using the block Classic WooCommerce filters. This one. And you can choose the design of the block. So you can choose between attribute, price, and rating. Also, you can add a set bar with filters here, and let's now check in practice how to do this. So we'll add 2 columns. Then we'll replace the places of 2 columns, like this. We'll select this structure, and then in grid settings, here we'll select 3 columns. Then we go to filters and drag it here, like this. Then we go to the structure, and then we will mark all the filters, and we will just move them to the column. And after that, we will move the button to the top, like this. Now let's make it so that the filters button is displayed on mobile devices and all the filters are visible on desktop at once. So to do this, we go back to the structure. Then we need to mark all the filters and we transform them to container wrapper. Then we go to advanced options and we will add additional CSS class here, shop filters. And then we will enable a specific option for the button filters, and this option is called Dynamic Content Selector before. So we start with a full stop. This means that the selector is a class, and then we will add our class here. Now everything that is located inside the elements with the class will be copied inside this button. So here we have our button. But please know that it is not mandatory to keep it here. So as you can see, if we keep it, I'll now show you how it looks. So this is how it looks. But if you want this button to be displayed on mobile devices only, then you need to go to Advanced Options here. Then you need to click on Responsive and Custom CSS, and you need to enable Hide on Desktop and Hide on Tablet. As for the container, we will do the opposite. So we will hide it on mobile devices. like this. And now as you can see, the filters button is hidden here for desktop, while when you're using a mobile device, it will appear here. Alright, so let's now talk about the interactive elements. So most probably you're going to use three main interactive elements on your website. So the first one is Quick View, Compare, and Wishlist. So the Quick View is a very simple option. It allows your customers to see more details about the product and add it to their cart without having to go to the individual products page. I will show you now how it works. So if you click on this icon, a window with the details of the product pops up. So here the user can check all the images, he can select the quantity and even add to cart. So this is kind of mini inner page. So the quick view option, I would say, is an unuseful option, but sometimes it would be better to open straight away the inner page of the product because it contains more information about the product itself. So keep this in mind and use it only if needed. The next option is Compare. There are three types here. The first one is button. So when clicked, it will add this product to the comparison. The second type is Counter. The counter just shows the number of products that have been added to compare. So we can also add a text here to the icon. Like this. Or you can even set definite ID. Also, there is an option, login page URL. This means that users who haven't registered on your website and who haven't entered as users, they will be redirected to the registration page once clicked on this icon. But if you keep this field empty, then if the user is not registered on your website, he won't be able to add items for comparison. And here you can enable or disable counter value. And the most important option here is a link to the page where the products that are added to the comparison will be displayed. So to use this option, you need to create a new page. And to do this, you need to go to Pages here and click on Add New. Then here we'll add a block which is called Product Comparison. And for the type, we'll select Table. So this block is now going to display the product that the user added for a comparison. There are some other options here as well that you can enable if you want. And also you can use a shortcode if you want to dynamically output some additional information in this table. So once again, you need to have 3 elements on the page: a comparison button. It should lead to the page with a comparison table here, but also you can select counter as a type. It displays the quantity of products already added for a comparison, and it will contain a link to comparison page. So let's now check how it works on our website. And as we can see, there is a counter here. So for example, we click here on this icon, and the product is added to comparison page. And if we click on this button, it leads us to comparison page. So let's now add some more products. For example, these ones. Okay, so here are our products. On this page, the user can also add some more items from here. Like this. Or he can also remove some of the items. And all the information of the product will be summarized and displayed here. The same way works wishlist block. Again, there are 3 types. So the first one is button, and it allows you to add the item to the wishlist. Then the second one is counter, and it counts the number of products in the wishlist, and also it contains a link to the page. And the third one is list, where all the products from the wishlist are listed. And there are also labels, or if you want, you can add a login page URL here, which avoids unregistered users to add items to the wishlist. And there is a wishlist result page URL here, where the user can check all the products added to the wishlist. So for the wishlist, you also need to create a page. In order to do this, we go to pages and add new one. And then we need to add a block which is called wishlist. Like this. In order not to use a wishlist as a separate block, you can also use another block which is called WooCommerce Query Builder. This one. And in order for this block to display not the latest products, but the products that are added to the wishlist, here you need to select a data query, wishlist query. Also, it is important to mention another option which is called product hooks. This one. Product hooks allow your plugins to deploy some functionality or content into your product pages. By default, when a classic template is used, it contains all WooCommerce hooks, but when you create your own template, these hooks are missing. So in this case, you need to add them manually. So if you are using a WooCommerce plugin and it requires specific hooks, then you need to ask the author for the name of the hook that is needed for the plugin and then add it to the page. Also, you may face a problem when you add this hook because the functions are duplicated. This means that 2 absolutely same blocks are added. And in order to avoid this, you need to go back to WooCommerce settings, here, Then you click on Greenshift Tools, and you need to click here on Remove Render Functions from Hooks. It is also worth mentioning some additional functions that are available here. So the first one is Enable Gutenberg for WooCommerce Editor. Here it is. So by default, if we edit our products, as you can see, it is not possible to use any Gutenberg blocks here. So this option allows this to happen. And as you can see now, you can use any Gutenberg blocks here while editing the content of your product, which is really nice because it greatly increases the functionality of your content. And also you can use blocks for reviews and comparisons as well. Also, there are two options that will greatly improve the speed of your page. So the first one is that you can disable Woo gallery scripts, and if you're using your template, it's better to disable this option. And the second one is that you can disable Woo cart scripts, this one. So if your site works as a catalog or affiliate store, you can simply disable this option. This is all for today. In the next video, I'll show you how to create a store site from scratch, starting from Figma design and to the full launch of the working site. Don't forget to click subscribe and see you in the next video.